My name is Jenna Million, and I am from Austin, Texas. I was a young teen on Tumblr, and I saw other music photographers like Matt Vogel and Ashley Osborne, and I was in like the Warped Tour, like pop punk bubble. All Time Low was my favorite band, and so I saw them on Tumblr posting their like live music photos, and I was like, this is so cool. I want to do what they're doing. Being able to capture the essence of my favorite thing, of like that feeling of emotion and live energy, you know, how you feel like at a show. Like I wanted to be able to capture that and like share that with other people. So seeing somebody else do it like really inspired me to pick up a camera and learn how to do it myself. I love music. I've always been drawn to it. It's shaped my whole life thus far. I'm much more of a visual person, and so I always feel like photography is the way that I communicate my passion for it. And then also other things like writing and I guess podcasting now too. Music holds so much power, so much emotion, that you can be listening to a song in a different language. You don't even have to know the words to like be able to feel the power of the song, and it just has this crazy ability to bring people together. And I think, you know, photography is my version of that, of being able to share that same energy with people. Live music versus when you have someone backstage or when you're doing portraits, like they're so different. So I mean, live music, I kind of like to be the fly on the wall. I don't want it to be obvious that I'm there. I want them in their element, doing their thing, and me being able to capture that moment. I don't want it to be influenced by the fact that they know there's a camera there. My approach is more being able to capture who people truly are. So I think I try to let that come through when I'm looking for photos. There was an issue with festival promoters booking. They wanted to book Jackie Venson on a lineup, and Jackie Venson was like, I feel like the token female, the token person of color here. Why can't, you know, you book more representation, more diversity on your lineups? And there's kind of like this big back and forth, and they were like, well, nobody's big enough. And it's like, they're big enough if you book them. Like Jackie's big enough to headline if you book her to headline. You don't have to have a Grammy nomination. You don't have to have a Grammy award to be able to headline festivals. It's a matter of, I think promoters have just as much a responsibility in pushing people to the next level as fans do for buying tickets, you know? And same thing goes for touring crews. We see this all the time with touring crews of it's a boys club. That is perpetuating the cycle of just touring with the same people, touring with the same men again and again and again. We have to push ourselves to do better. Everyone has to play their part. The stats are awful for women in the music industry. It's 30%, 70% is men. Majority of that is white men. I mean, even recent stats, you look at genre breakdowns, it's like 30% or less. Some of the genres are even less women. You look at the live music stats, you look at audio production and engineering, producers are like 2% women. Like, it is absolutely insane. We can only change things by opening up the conversation and making it easy for people to understand, because it's not just the rude comment or the unnecessary person touched you on the waist as they passed you in the crowd. Like, it's not just those things. It's why is the media tearing Britney Spears to pieces? Why are female pop stars expected to look a certain way and reinvent themselves every single album cycle when John Mayer has been wearing a t-shirt and jeans his entire life? Or Ed Sheeran, you know, it's just like women are held to a different standard than men. And our podcast, what we do each week is we kind of break down the different bite-sized pieces of these conversations, because there is just so much. And I think my friend Sarah and I, my co-host, we were really tired of having the same conversations over and over with our other female friends and nothing happening. It's challenging. These conversations are difficult conversations, but the only way we learn how to do better and we learn how to change our behaviors is by having them. So honestly, the podcast Name 3 Songs has been super, super eye-opening. I've learned so much that like I wasn't aware of, or it's that unconscious bias or the internalized misogyny you don't even realize you have. It's those things, and like having these conversations has been truly beneficial even for me. So, you know, it's my hope with the podcast that will provide a space for people to reflect and be able to learn and unlearn some things for themselves. We have weekly episodes of Name 3 Songs out every Sunday. We talk about different topics from misogyny and songwriting. We've covered like sexual assault allegations in the past, up to like the pop star archetype. Is that even a real thing? We also just talked about industry plants because of the whole tramp stamps debacle going on. I think it's a really awesome learning opportunity, and we love continuing the conversation. If you listen and have thoughts and want to come share them with us, we always appreciate that. On the podcast front, it would be super awesome if it turns into our full-time jobs one day. A book deal. Like we have endless ideas for how we want to continue to grow the platform and just share the message with more people. So that's kind of like one of my biggest goals right now. And then personal, like more photography wise, I think it's really easy to feel imposter syndrome. And I think also not having really done much photo stuff within the last year and like coming back to it, it's easy to feel that way. So like a personal goal for me is just to know that I've been doing this for a long time and I know what I'm doing, and just like have confidence in that. Know your power, like own your power, just step into it and don't doubt yourself. So that's kind of like a personal thing for me. And I definitely want to do some like photo books on the horizon.